Your girl is ready to spill some more tea. Hey guys, it's Jess from She's Posh. Welcome back. And today we're going to be talking all about Poshmark and why I don't think you should buy or sell on the platform for luxury. I make videos every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, so please remember to hit subscribe below and ring my bell so we can become best friends here on the internet. Oh, hey guys, I have another video for you, which I thought I would just share some things. I've had certain videos about Poshmark on my channel when I first started. It was a platform I used all the time for buying and selling. I've had a few things go wrong with it, and I have recently had some of my friends that are reselling on the platform. They had things bad, good, but more bad than good. So I thought I would share the most recent ones that I heard from my friends. I'll make sure to have their name and Instagram and all their stuff down below so you can check them out. But I just wanted to share this with you guys, some of my experiences and their experiences, just to help you maybe steer clear of the platform or just protect yourself in general, or know what you're getting yourself into if you use Poshmark. So what is Poshmark? So Poshmark is an online platform that's similar to eBay and Mercari and Depop, where you can sell items from your own closet. So basically what you do is take pictures of your items, pick your prices, upload them to the website, and then they'll be listed for you. Poshmark takes 20% of what the price is. They take care of the shipping. Usually the buyer will pay for the shipping and the tax, or you can offer free shipping with your item and then you pay for the shipping. However, everything is arranged through Poshmark. If there is a problem on the platform, then Poshmark is the ones that will help negotiate, navigate that thing, similar to an eBay. Used to be just clothing and women's products. It's now expanded to like homewares, kids, men's, all that stuff. But when it first started out, it was mostly just women's clothing. And what was exciting about the platform is that it was fairly new. It wasn't as saturated when I first started using it. I started using it in 2015, and it wasn't until 2016 when I really got into the reselling to make money. I have some videos that I've shared in the past, but there's ways that I like to fund my luxury addiction. I'm not someone that just spends my regular coin on luxury. I like to do different side hustles and different things like that to pay for the luxury that I buy, because I do have goals of retiring early, so I don't really want to use most of our house funds for my luxury purchases. So things like YouTube, bag rentals, stock market, different things. I have different ways that I'm savvy in making money for the items that I want to purchase. So one of those things I used to do is I used to do some reselling, and I used the Poshmark platform for that back in the day. One of my favorite things to do with Poshmark back in the day, I would buy like the latest trends and things that were coming up. So for example, when the Fendi baguette was starting to be big and the Dior saddlebag, I would look on the Poshmark platform for those vintage pieces, and I was able to find great deals for around $100. I got them authenticated by Real Authentication, and I was reselling these items to Fashion File and making sometimes a 200 to 300% profits on these particular pieces. So back in the day, it was awesome, but things did go wrong. Back in the day, it wasn't as bad, but now it is just not as good, guys. So I think what happened is the platform kind of grew really, really fast. Poshmark videos on reselling would start to become very popular. People would do hauls. They'd go to thrift stores. Those videos started getting really, really popular. So people would go to thrift stores, they'd thrift items and clean them, stitch them up, fix them up, and then sell them on the Poshmark platform for a profit. So I started noticing back in 2019, right before the pandemic, that this was getting very popular and people were able to stay home. You know, moms were able to stay home and they would just thrift and resell, and it was great. But then so many people got into it, the platform kind of just blew up, probably thanks to YouTube and people like myself that were sharing these things that we're doing. It really started to get just oversaturated, and I think that Poshmark had trouble keeping up and their customer service kind of went through the wayside. So let's talk about my experience and some scams that were on Poshmark and how I got scammed on Poshmark. I do have a video where I go into more detail. Again, this is just the highlights. So if you want more in depth, I will have my video down below, and I will also share the Instagrams and stuff of the ladies that I will be mentioning to get more information on those things that happen. Basically, one of the most common scams is that people would reach out to you through the comment section on Poshmark, and they would say, oh, I want to buy it for this. Can we do PayPal? But you can't say PayPal on the platform, so they would say PP. Can we do PP? PayPal, can we do another form? So what they're trying to do is get you to send them your authentic pieces, your pieces through PayPal or some other kind of platform, so that you don't have Poshmark involved. And then if you don't have Poshmark involved, they can't help you out if the person ends up scamming you. So one of the things is they will ask you to send something to them, and then they will say they never received the item. That's one of the most popular ones, and you can try to go through PayPal, or they'll refuse payment through PayPal and stuff like that. So it's very hard when you're the seller on that platform. Also, when selling on that platform, people used to do this scam where you would send them the piece and they would say that you sent them old dirty shoes or sheets or a bunch of clothing. This was a very popular one, and they'd say, hey, here's some pictures of some clothing in the box that has their name and all that stuff on that you sent them. And you're like, no, I sent them these designer shoes. What are they talking about? Because if an item is under $500, it never gets shipped to Poshmark to authenticate. So people would say, no, you sent me this. And so Poshmark was like, okay, we got to return it. You sent her some stinky shoes, so we're going to return them. And they return you stinky shoes. They return you old clothes from their closet. You're out of luck from Poshmark. Sometimes Poshmark will reimburse you for those items, but a lot of the times you're done, you're scammed, and there's nothing you can do, and you're out the loss of those pieces. So a lot of the things in favor of the buyer. There were some positive things with it when you were selling luxury pieces, which used to be good, is that they will authenticate the pieces for you. If it's over $500, shipping would be free, and I would ship my item to Poshmark. They would see it, authenticate the piece, and then they would ship it onto the buyer. So now the buyer can't say they never got the piece. They can't say it's not authentic. It was very hard to return an item when that had happened. It was really hard for that. So here we get to where I was scammed on the platform as a purchaser. I never had problems when I was selling for particular items to get scammed that way. A couple times people returned pieces because it was the wrong size, whereas maybe I mismarked it accidentally. It happened to me twice, but very rarely did anyone ever return items to me or try to scam me in that way, especially with luxury pieces going to Poshmark. But I had purchased a luxury piece. So I had gotten a Chloe Faye backpack. It was something that was always on my, if I can find it for a good price, wish list. And this person was selling a brand new Chloe bag. That's how it was listed. Had the tags, new with tags, didn't have any flaws, nothing mentioned in there. It just seemed like it was something she bought, never used. So I thought I was helping out a regular person. What I liked about Poshmark is that I was buying and giving money to just a regular person. I felt good about that instead of necessarily giving it to a big corporation. So it went through the authentication process. It came back to me and I was excited. I opened it up. First thing you do is you look at the bag, right? And I went to try it on because it's a backpack. It fell completely off my shoulder. And I'm like, what the heck? I look at the strap and the strap is broken. It was never listed on the listing as being broken. It was always listed new with tags, not new with tags and a flaw. And just because something has tags attached does not mean it is new. If something is broken or there is a flaw with it, that needs to be listed, but it was never listed on it. So I was like, I want my money back, right? I paid $700 for a new with tag piece and I got a new broken piece. So it's definitely not new. It wasn't described properly, which is one of the ways you're able to get your money back, right? So I went ahead and I filled out the claim and it was taking a while. I was just like, what the heck? Like, here's the picture of it broken. There's no pictures of her showing it's broken. The only picture she had was just her pointing at the strap with the broken piece in the background. Like, it wasn't even in focus, it was in the background, but it wasn't mentioned as being broken. She's just pointing at it. She didn't describe it as broken, so, or flawed, she knew. Pristine condition is what new is described as. So never would I thought that Poshmark would side with this shady seller, right? Because she was shady, she wasn't truthful. Normally, they would give me something to send it back. It had been another 3 or 4 days, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then I look and it said delivered. They gave the woman the money, never responded to me about why they did that. I reached out to them again. There is no telephone number to call them. It's just email, and I never experienced an apology, a response, or anything from them. I was one of the top hosted parties. I've been a party host. I've done many things with the platform, and for them to treat me like that was disgusting. And I was done. I stopped selling on there, and I was just put off from it, and I just decided I wasn't going to do reselling anymore. Plus, it was just so oversaturated, and to use the platform, they wanted you to be on your phone all the time. Like, you had to like share your pieces for people to be able to see it. It was just disgusting. There was just so much involved. And after I was treated like that, never again would I buy luxury in there. I have looked on that site for pieces, some luxury that's hard to get. I have thought about trying it again. I just haven't made the plunge. So that was a scam that happened to me. Now I would like to share with you 2 other bad experiences. So I had Tiffany from LV Coffee Lover. She had purchased a piece that she was super excited about. It was a Balenciaga city bag. It was in this beautiful like lilac purple color that she wanted to get. However, on the platform, like, people can use filters. They can do different things. And she was showing me the bag, and with my experience, she showed me the picture. She's like, what do you think? I said, I think there's extra wear on that bag that you might not be seeing. Because I had been on the platform before, I was like, I feel like there's wear here and here. I think she has a filter on it, and it might be hard to see. She's describing it this way, has sold a bunch of things before, and I know about this one wear that's on there, but such a great price. And so she went ahead and got the bag. When she got the bag in, sure enough, it was a filter thing. Those extra marks were not described. There were stains and some extra wear and scratches once you put it into regular daylight. And that's why you gotta be careful with those listings. Yes, it was authenticated and it came to her, but it just seemed like people could just use filters. People can use other people's pictures and things like that. So you just have to be careful. You don't necessarily know what you are getting. Obviously, there's tons of fakes on there. I did, I guess, therapy when I was like pissed off at people. I would go through there and report like all the fakes that I saw on there. Obviously, they just go right back up again. Yeah, she had that experience. So luckily, Poshmark sided with her. I have no idea what happened with mine. I think that someone just never responded. I think that I said no, and some customer service person just did nothing, and it just automatically got paid to that person after a certain amount of time. I think that's what happened, but that should never have happened to someone like me. And when I reached out and complained about it, someone should have responded to me. I never got a response ever again, and they should have a telephone number where you can talk to somebody. So luckily she was able to return it, but she had to deal with that. She had sold a piece with them, and they do authenticate the pieces for you. So she actually had a problem when she was selling something. She did get more money than Fashion File, everything was fine, but she sent the piece out, and it took a long time for it to get authenticated and sent back to the person. And you don't get paid until the person gets the bag, and then they have 3 days. So even when the person receives the bag, they have up to 3 days to file a complaint. So it just took a long time for her to get her money because she had to wait for the bag. I think it took her over 2 weeks from the sale, way too long. But here is the little bit of insider information that I found out about their authentication for Poshmark, guys. Poshmark does not have actual authenticators. What Poshmark does, they use real authentication and authenticate first, and they just open the box, they take pictures of it, and they send it to those platforms. They come back either authentic or not authentic. And if they come back as undetermined, like they couldn't figure it out either way, they're not saying it's not authentic. But if they can't figure out either way, then they say, hey, we can't authenticate this item, and they send it back. So there are no real Poshmark experts. There's no real Poshmark authenticators at all. Did you guys have any idea that they didn't really have real authenticators? So I got this goss from Purse Hunters. You have to look at her YouTube. So she had on her Instagram stories that she had gotten a jumbo Chanel, completely authenticated. It came with the card, everything. She gets all her bags authenticated, but she had sold it on Poshmark. So she's on eBay, she sells on her own personal sites, and then she is also on Poshmark. Because when you're a reseller and you own your own business, it's good to be on other platforms so you get noticed. Like, I actually found Rebag through Poshmark. I actually found my Designerly, a site that I like, through Poshmark, because you use other platforms just to get yourself out there. Fashion File used to use eBay all the time to help them get more sales. So it's very smart for her to do that. So she had sold the bag, she had sent it to them, and it came by, they couldn't determine it. For some reason, They couldn't determine. And she's like, what are you talking about? It's authentic. I have the authentication here. So they told her client that it was basically that it was fake in those terminologies that they get. She goes, the bag is not fake. So now they're saying that she sells fake bags in a way. This is a potential client of hers that they're tarnishing her name just because Real Authentication or somebody said they couldn't authenticate it. Whoever they were using could not authenticate it for them. So she complains. She finally gets a hold of someone and they email her and message her, who are these experts if they can't tell this is real? And that's when they admit to her that they use this third-party system of just taking pictures. There's no actual person on hand that looks and examines the pieces. And as you know, with some of the Chanel pieces, some of the parts, especially the newer ones, you have to see them in person. So if I've had incidences when I was getting that bag that I was pretty sure was a fake Chanel bag, I'll have the video here for you, but they said they have to look at it at the microscopic level and they couldn't give me an answer either way. So if Poshmark is doing this, pictures are not gonna be the way to find out if something is authentic or not. So yeah, guys, they don't really have authenticators. That is a lie right there. Not only did they ruin that sale for her and all this stuff, they lost her card. It had come with the card and they sent her the item back without the card that it came with. She was so pissed, upset. Finally, they found the card, it got sent back to her, and she had since sold that bag to a very happy client. However, this person, wanted and loved that bag. They messed up a client for her, and this person didn't get the Chanel bag because of what they did. So yeah, guys, I do not recommend the Poshmark platform at all for luxury, even reselling as well. It's just too oversaturated. The customer service isn't there. You're not going to get what you think. Like, I wanted to think I would get backup. I would hope that they would have my back for selling and purchasing, but they just don't, guys. They either don't have enough people or they're just in over their heads with this platform. So yeah, let me know if you have any Poshmark scams or horror stories that you'd like to share below. Also, check out my girls that I mentioned down below. And as always, I want to thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you again. Bye, guys.